Hello and welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports, and today we have an unboxing of something you probably didn't think you'd see on this channel. This is a Quintana Roo V, should be right on there on both sides, yep, V-PRI, I for integrated, PR I guess just for your personal record. This is their top-of-the-line frame for triathlon. And a little bit of history, Quintana Roo is considered to be like the first brand to really focus on triathlon bikes way back when. But that's that for the history because I'm not too sharp on it. Okay, so anyway, what do we have here? Well, we have this big carbon frame that for aerodynamicists would probably be like, wow, yeah, look at all that. So you could see, like, here's the head tube, frontal on the head tube, and then you could see how much further back this goes from the head tube, right? So, you know, that's my hand there. And then also what they've done here is on the non-drive side. So you can kind of see the drive side chainstay, really small. And then you've got the non-drive side chainstay. Look at that. And I believe they call that the leading edge absent thing. It's also UDH compatible. So let's see if I can bring that into focus there. UDH compatible, so universal derailleur hanger compatible. So we got this storage box back here. And then their other big thing is right inside here on the top tube, this is fuel bay. So you've got storage for dried goods and then wet goods because it's going to have a bladder. So you have hydration. I believe it's like 22 ounces for the smaller frame because you're just not going to have as much top tube, right? And then on the medium and large frames, it goes up to 25 ounces of fluid, and then you have dry storage as well. So that'll come together later. So a couple of the other things here. If you get it as a complete bike, it'll come with ceramic bottom bracket, ceramic speed bottom bracket, comes with a power meter and all that stuff. And the price is, well, it's over $10,000 US, right? So this builds out to a pretty expensive bike with, like, let's say, Dura-Ace Di2 and or SRAM Red. Now we're going to build this bike with Dura-Ace 12 speed. Now, a little bit of history on this. The gentleman had an 11 speed Dura-Ace Di2 mechanical disc brake bike. Wasn't happy with the mechanical disc brakes. I believe they were TRP. I serviced the bike a couple of times, and I also did a bike fit for him. And I said, this bike is a little too small. And he was like, yeah, you know. So then he purchase this instead. Now, I am a Quintana Roo dealer. I never mentioned that, I don't think. I'm a Quintana Roo dealer and a Lightspeed titanium dealer. But I don't usually sell these bikes, in particular because the Quintana Roo offers a very good team discount to, I forget the name of the team. And so it makes it really challenging as a bike shop when a brand is offering a discount so close to my my margin. The margin on these things is very, very, very small. So it just doesn't make any sense for me to stock any of these in the store. And so I just order them as needed. But generally, most folks will join the Tri team, get the pricing, and I'm out. I'm out of the equation. However, these bikes, in this case, needs to get built from the ground up. So that's just not something he does or he has any interest in doing, so I get the build. Now, a couple other things. It's got a T47 threaded bottom bracket here, and the bottom bracket shell is only 68 mil, so you're going to have the outboard bearings here. Now, I guess the concept is that the narrower you make the bike, you know, so you're down here with a 68 millimeter bottom bracket instead of a 86 millimeter bottom bracket. So there's that. And one of the things that we're going to do with this bike is he opted for all of the fancy, so these carbon aero bar extensions. He's got the cockpit. He's got the full kit and caboodle, but he bought it as a frame because his initial idea was to swap out the 11-speed group set that we were talking about. The 11-speed mechanical disc brake system, but this was going to be electronic, also I should say hydraulic disc brakes. So we had to buy the shifter levers, the triathlon style shifter levers that go on the base bar. Well, that's where we started to run into problems. So I'm glad that you're still sticking around for this video. Let me show you one more thing. This is the fork, and so it's got a blade here to cover up the disc brake mount portion here. All right, so that's where we started to run into problems. And what problems do you think I'm running into? Well, the first thing is inventory. Shimano, and I've also got a gravel build. Months and months and months I'm waiting on parts to build this gentleman's gravel bike. Just a shifter, brake type of thing, crankset on that gravel bike. But on this bike, we couldn't get the shifter brake lever in hydraulic for this bike. Waiting. The customer got a little bit antsy, wanted to get the bike built, understandably. So he went open source those shifters. And I said, well, I'm still waiting on a crankset, still waiting on front and rear derailleurs. So, go ahead and get those shifters and then bring those in. Waiting. And I'm talking months. I'm not talking weeks. I'm talking months. So finally he said, okay, I'll just get the crankset, front derailleur, rear derailleur, and bring that stuff into you as well. Meanwhile, I had sourced the new battery, and I had sourced with these shifters, they come in as a certain E-tube wire, and you then have to reduce them to a different E-tube wire with adapters and then run that to the battery because the battery takes a certain E-tube. So I had ordered all of those other things and just sitting around waiting for these parts. Now, of course, I've been extremely busy building Ritchie Road Logics, which are worlds apart. Mechanical rim brake to hydraulic integrated Di2 stuff on this carbon bike. So I was busy on my end doing my thing, and then he was sourcing parts and whatever. And then when he brings in the last part, the rear derailleur, he says, God, it took forever for this to come in. I said, yeah, I know. It's been like that. And for example, on that gravel build, I'm still waiting on a shifter GRX shifter, 820, I believe. And it's like June. And this is end of April. Actually, today's April 30th. So it's just been a very long time waiting on parts. I've got another Ritchie Road Logic that I don't have Ultegra shifter levers for them. They're talking mid-May to June. Actually, on that bike, we're waiting on EE brakes as well. They're talking May. So the pendulum, swings, right? So COVID comes, no inventory, everybody ramps up production. Then we have 2 to 3 years of excess inventory in the system, and everyone's trying to discount it and get rid of it. And now I'm having trouble finding Shimano componentry to build these bikes. So are we in a dry spell? Are companies getting more conservative on what they're producing? And this is April 30th of 2025. We also have this tariff discussion going on. So how much product is going to be in the inventory system, supply system, and what is that going to do to impact the prices to consumers trying to build bikes? So we have all of these things going on all at the same time, while consumers just want to build a bike and just want to go race their bike. So we have issues with supply. We have possible issues with tariff pricing. We have, and then you have capacity. So here in my shop, I'm like up to here with bikes that I'm building, in addition to the daily repairs that keep coming through the store. Flat repair for this, a little derailleur adjustment there, and these things that are quick fixes, but they disrupt the flow of you're building a bike and you're bleeding brakes, and you've got an open container if you're doing Shimano, right? You got the little cup funnel that you just can't take the bike off the rack, or so you've got all these other things. And not to mention, I like to ride my bike. So I haven't ridden my bike in a week and a half because vacation with Jess's fam, and then also just busy at the shop. So anyway, that is a quick vlog on the day in the life of a one-man shop, trying to make everything connect and keep customers happy. But the headline is, I'm going to build this bike. I'm going to try to bring you along with me. It will be probably just rough clips. I just don't know that I have the time to compile this and make a B-roll and an A-roll and music. I just don't have the time. And it's always the same thing. It's like I'm busy for one, but not busy enough for two. So I just could not employ someone and then have to let them go. Maybe piecework. Hey, build this bike. Here's some funds for you. And last thing before we go, all this aerodynamic stuff, the wheels that we're going to put on there, like 81 mil, none of this matters unless you get your fueling right. So if you don't have your fueling right, and you're either cramping on the road or you are bonking on the run after having a blazing, because this is the famous last words, I had a great bike leg. And then they just blow up, and then they're limping on their run course. If you don't have good nutrition, all of this $10,000 worth of bikes just doesn't amount to anything without good nutrition. So hit me up if you'd like to try. There's an introductory discount that I offer, and I offer it sparingly from time to time. So in this case, send me an email, revcycling@gmail.com. Email is always in the description, for 20% off for introductory, so first-time buyers only, on Rev Energy, a complex carb drink mix that I use for my endurance events. The title that email as Quintana Roo, which is the brand of the bike that we're discussing today. Okay, everyone else, please like and subscribe. We have 70% or more viewers are not subscribed to this channel. So please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and it means the world to me. In the meantime, we'll see you up the road.